This month marks the 4th annual Black Restaurant Challenge here in Boston, held each February in honor of Black History Month. When it was first started by State Rep China Tyler and the Urban Affairs Group in 2018, the goal was to get people to dine in Black-owned restaurants around the city. But this year, for obvious reasons, it's all about takeout. And in a pandemic that's hit people of color hardest at just about every turn, the challenge is more critical now than ever. I'm joined now by Nia Grace. She's owner of Darryl's Corner Bar and Kitchen, which is a member of the Boston Black Hospitality Coalition, and Douglas Williams, chef-owner of MIDA. I should also note both are offering indoor dining options as well. Douglas and Nia, it's good to see you both. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Nia, starting with you, before we get to the Black Restaurant Challenge, which should be every month, obviously, not just 1 month, how have the last 11 months been for you?
Interesting. I think that's probably the best way to get that started.
What's that mean?
I think I know, what does it mean, right? It's just, it's been a challenge. And I think one of the biggest challenges have come from the different changes that have gone on for state regulations, as well as the, ups and downs of testing and people being positive, et cetera. Trying to hold off on business and trying to keep people employed. So, difficult is probably the one word that I could say best describes the last 11 months.
What's a word you'd pick, Douglas?
It's many words. Honestly, it's hard to fit into one word because you just want to keep saying more. There's opportunity, there's dismay, there's some confusion, but there's also just tenacity. I think that brings it out of Grace and I, Nia. I want to try to find the next step. It's really just finding the future, finding the next move, what our business turns into. I wish one word can conceptualize everything, but it's really just about what is the next move the next month.
I think the one word for you, Douglas, was that sigh that you gave at the beginning.
I was going to put in quotations, but it didn't work. So, yeah.
I read your piece about takeout, Douglas, in the Boston Globe, and at least what I took away from it, I hope I'm not dead wrong, is you seem to have an incredibly optimistic spirit in the middle of this nightmare. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I don't really know another way to have it. I don't have any other route to go other than to run this business. I don't have a writing degree to fall back on or an accounting degree. There's no other route for me. So we have to be as optimistic and as opportunistic as we can. And if, just as looking back 100 years ago, to 1918, 1920s, when the flu pandemic, influenza, it eventually comes back around, and it's deadly and terrible in the time. But eventually we will have to roar back out, literally, and start to figure some things out, both on the business side, but also the social side.
Nia, this Black Restaurant Challenge, visit or take out or something from at least one Black restaurant every week. We're halfway, more than halfway into February already. I know a lot of us are talking the talk, but are we walking the walk? How's this working out?
I would say yes. I can't, really take an account for what everyone is doing. But to Douglas's point, it's really been about community galvanizing. So be it Black, white, or in between, what I know for sure and what I've known at least for the last 11 months, the restaurant, hospitality, and events community have definitely pulled together, as well as our neighbors. And so we are being supported.
Douglas, I know that in addition, both of you, but I know you are, in addition to keeping your own business afloat, I don't know if you have time for anything else, you're doing a hell of a lot of things beyond the four walls of your place for this month. Can you share briefly what those things are?
Sure. We are offering several services. We're offering kits to cook at home, obviously takeout and the likes, but we're also trying to do some things for the community. With our community through hospitality and getting in partners, and Nia and Darryl's Corner Bar is a part of that, and promoting, and with the Greater Boston Food Bank, and just trying to feed and get PPE to communities that need it, and just people in general that need it. And it's been huge. The city's really coming around. Beckham has been involved, Black Economic Council of Massachusetts. Yeah. We're all just trying to come and just do whatever we can so we can come out of this.
You know, Nia, you know 10 times better than I, but it isn't like the travails for black-owned restaurants all of a sudden appeared in March of last year. If anybody does any reading who doesn't do what you do, we know how difficult it is for black owners in the restaurant business to get access to capital, to get a full liquor license. Almost forget it. In Boston, what is it, 8 out of 1,100 or something are owned by black restaurateurs. Is it naively optimistic to think that the focus that's been put on these issues during the pandemic will cause there to be greater attention to fixing these problems post-pandemic, or am I being falsely optimistic?
You know, I hope it's not naive to think so. I would really hope that as everyone has been able to look at, you know, just on a plain whiteboard, everyone's economic standing and how they're footed, that you finally have that check and say, no, I'm going to fix it. And I hope that we're making enough noise and making it a clear enough point that we are absolutely a really self-sufficient community. But there have been things that were previously done that didn't allow us that same footing. So, I mean, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, because I don't think that myself, nor the coalition, nor Douglas, or anyone else who believes in it is going to stop until we have some changes.
How about it, Douglas? You optimistic about the post-pandemic period and people getting it?
You know, it's kind of how I see some things in my restaurant. It's like, you know, when you see someone do something, I trust them, but I check at the same time. I think we're optimistic, but we still have to, you know, kind of piece together some things and keep knocking on doors and keep going down to City Hall and stay in touch with the representatives and do all the things that we already do, and just, again, have that continued tenacity with making sure that things are happening in a proper amount of time, but also sticking to our business plan and our community and the food and the hospitality we serve.
Two great restaurants, two fine people. Thank you much for sharing your time with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.
For more information and other restaurant suggestions, head to Instagram.com/Boston Black Restaurant Challenge. And for more info on MIDA's Community Through Hospitality efforts and the fundraiser for the Greater Boston Food Bank, head to Facebook.com/MIDA.Boston.